السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أستاذ عبد الله بدر, chemistry teacher, Oxford Schools International Section, and this video is assigned for grade 12 SAT. يعطيكم العافية شباب كمان مرة. واليوم الثلاثاء واليوم الدرس عن salts. Salts, in general, we could define salt as the ionic compound that produces from the reaction of acid. واحنا اخذنا reactions of acids في فيديوز قبل. اخذنا acid مع base, acid مع alkali, acid مع metal, acid مع metal carbonate. دايما كان البرودكت هو salt. salt مش شرط NaCl شباب. NaCl is the table salt, بس اي reaction بيعطيك, اي reaction of acid بيعطيك salt. واللي بنركز عليه اليوم شباب هو type of the salt. We have three common types of salts. We have neutral salts, we have acidic salts, we have basic salts. شوف common equation أو اللي هي symbolic equation, acid مع base produces salt plus water. We are going to deal with this equation more than the other equations. To explain the first type شباب, and we need to know how to continue chemical equations, acid-base equations. هي double displacement reaction. بدك تطلع salt وتطلع جنبه water. I took this example, HCl plus calcium hydroxide. The hydrochloric acid مع calcium hydroxide produces calcium chloride. This is the salt we are talking about, the product of the equation and water. What we are dealing with in this class, shabab, is what's the type of this salt? Is it neutral? Is it acidic or basic? It depends on the acid and the base that react with each other, shabab, to produce this salt. And you should memorize, by the way, the list of strong acids and the list of strong bases, shabab. Be careful. As you know, HCl or hydrochloric acid is one of the strong acids. So you have strong acid here. Calcium hydroxide, group 2 hydroxide, is also one of the strong bases. So strong base. شوف, if you react a strong acid with a strong base, then the salt produced is a neutral salt. Neutral salt. So the solution of this salt has a pH of 7. يعني if we have a strong acid reacted with a strong base, the product would be the neutral salt, or the solution of the salt produced is has a pH of 7. طيب أستاذ, do we always have the chemical equations to decide? No, we don't. شوف, let's say we have this salt. نحكي مثلا كالسيوم, بلاش كالسيوم, خلي صوديوم بروميد NaBr. هذا salt, صوديوم بروميد. To decide if the salt is acidic or basic or neutral salt شباب, you have to do this easy step. First of all, you have to break down the salt into its ions. When we have sodium ion and bromide ion, you can go back to the periodic table to find out the charges. If you don't have a periodic table, it's easy. You can decide. بس الأحسن إنك ترجع على periodic table. شوف, the positive ion, I'm going to bring it back to its base. So هذا بنعطيه hydroxide. البوزيتيف ايون اعطيه هيدروكسيد بصير NaOH. النيجاتيف ايون اعطيه هيدروجين ايونز بتصير HBr. عيد من اول. عندنا سولت اسمه صوديوم بروميد NaBr. To decide if the salt is acidic or basic or neutral, the first step is to break it down into ions. Sodium ion, bromide ion. For the positive ion أعطيها OH, أعطيها هيدروكسيد, صارت NaOH. For the negative ion أعطيها hydrogen ions, صارت HBr. لازم تكون حافظ إنه HBr أو hydrobromic acid is a strong acid, و sodium hydroxide is a strong base. So if you have a reaction of a strong base with a strong acid, then the salt is neutral salt. طيب one more example أو كمان example لسه في one على acidic و one على basic كيف نحدده. Let's say we have this salt iron chloride FeCl3 iron chloride, and we need to decide whether the solution of this salt is acidic, pH less than 7, basic, pH more than 7, or neutral, pH equals to 7. Going back to the periodic table, break them down into ions. You have chloride ion Cl minus because it's in group 7. أستاذ هون كيف نعرف الcharge of Fe؟ هيها 3 positive لأنه هو transition metal Fe3 plus. بعدين the positive ion أعطيه hydroxide تصير FeOH by 3 iron hydroxide. ليش أعطيته 3 hydroxides أستاذ؟ لأنه عنده 3 positive charges. لون أعطينا positive 1 أعطيناها hydroxide 1 hydroxide ion صارت NaOH. هون 3 positive charges صارت 3 hydroxide ions, so FeOH by 3. Cl minus, the negative ion, we have to add hydrogen ions to make it HCl. You should memorize again and again. HCl is a strong acid while FeOH by 3 is a weak base. صار عندي هون strong acid with a weak base, so iron chloride as a salt is acidic salt. Acidic salt, and it has a solution of pH less than 7. كيف عرفنا؟ break down the salt into ions, bring back the acid and the base. You have weak base iron hydroxide و strong acid hydrochloric acid, so the salt is acidic. البيسك salt حيكون بالعكس شباب، حيكون strong base with a weak acid. كيف أستاذ؟ خلينا ناخد example. Let's say we have this salt MgF2 magnesium fluoride. Break the salt down into ions. حيكون Mg2 plus وحيكون معانا F minus. For the positive ion أعطيها hydroxide ions بتصير MgOH by 2. ليش by 2؟ لأنه the charge is positive 2. F minus أعطيها hydrogen ion بتصير hydrofluoric acid, which is out of the list of strong acids, so it's a weak acid. And MgOH by 2 is a strong base. Group 2 hydroxides are strong bases. So if you have a strong base with a weak acid, so the solution of this salt or this salt is a basic salt, and the solution has a pH above than or more than 7. إن شاء الله يكون الأمور كلها واضحة، وديروا بالكم على حالكم شباب. إن شاء الله تسووا كويس، إن شاء الله تكونوا سويتوا كويس في حياتكم وفي عطلتكم. الله يوفقكم كلياتكم. السلام عليكم.